Hey guys, how are you today? So I'm jumping on to talk about I cannot accept herpes. This is a topic that we hear every day. This is something we say so many times, especially when you first find out, but mostly as you're trying to get through it. And I want to teach you guys exactly how to accept herpes. I've said it multiple times, but I want to have a video teaching you guys how I got to a place of acceptance and also some clarity that I received over these last couple of days on why we stay stuck with the mental struggles or mental prison, quote unquote, that herpes can create for us, and quote unquote, why the herpes stigma is so heavy because of things that we are saying and the things that we're not doing. So if you're interested in finding out why you keep saying I cannot accept herpes, then keep watching this video. Alright guys, so I am back. Y'all know this video is about I cannot, won't, will not, can't, ain't trying, I don't see how, never will I ever. Never will I ever. Y'all remember we used to play that game, Never Will I Ever. Or a double dog, I don't know how. Literally, that is what I hear and what I have been through and what I have said on my own when I first found I had herpes and just living with it for so long. It took me 7 years to get to a place where I was like, okay, Belize, you ain't got no choice. And you may think like, okay, Belize, okay, how? And I want to tell y'all, and let me introduce myself. Sorry, guys. My name is Belize Spivey. I am the STD Life Coach. I help African American women living with herpes to overcome the stigma. So when I found out, I was a sophomore in college, and I always like to tell my story because I tell y'all connect with stories, and this is the reason why when it's time to disclose, you need to know your story. And a lot of you guys will never know your story because you keep saying you can't, you won't, and you will not so much that you're not even understanding your story. You're not understanding how you got here. You're not being honest with yourself or where you got here. You're not taking responsibility for why you're here, or you're blaming yourself you're here because of your lack of knowledge. And y'all hear me say these same things all over, but I'm about to give y'all a lot of revelation or quote unquote clarity on why you're counseling out a lot of videos that you watch. You'll watch my videos, or you'll watch somebody else's videos, or you'll get some encouragement, or you'll get to a place where you're like, I got this, and then all of a sudden, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. You'll go back and you keep wondering like, why am I getting so close? Why am I so good some days, and then I'm backtracking, and I'm so good some days, and I can go 2-3 years, and all of a sudden I triggered it and it seems like I have an issue. The main reason is because of what you're saying. A lot of you guys do not control what you say, and you wonder why you're not getting over herpes. You wonder why you can't overcome the stigma of herpes. Overcoming the stigma of herpes is a mindset, number one, and is a word set. You have to open your mouth and be real careful how you say it. When I was laying in the bed many times, I was just like, oh, woe is me. And y'all may say, woe is me, but literally it is a woe is me. Because at the end of the day, I had to truly be honest with myself, with my behavior, with the things that I did, and things like that. I don't care if you ain't had that many sex partners. But many of you guys, even with the one sex partner that you do have, you felt in the pit of your stomach you shouldn't even have sex with him. Okay, a lot of people have this pit of don't do it, or you have that feeling that something ain't right, or he made me feel uncomfortable, or I shouldn't have been here, I shouldn't have came, or she coming on too strong, man. Like, why they in such a rush to have sex? I'm confused. Like, what's your problem? Or they stressing, oh, I ain't got nothing, I ain't got nothing, I ain't got nothing. You was like, I'm waiting the eye, like, I don't know, but we tend to do stuff because, number one, we don't trust our gut, we don't believe ourselves, and then on top of that, we too scared to say something or check somebody or question somebody about situations. Now, it's some individuals who question people about situations, but then you don't listen to yourself after checking them. You'll check them, oh, I asked all these questions, but then you didn't listen to your spirit. You didn't listen to your gut. You didn't listen to your intuition at all when it told you, okay, you question him because you knew he was lying. You question her because you knew your homeboy said something about her, and you start thinking about it. You start looking at her behavior. So my whole thing is a lot of this lack of acceptance is because of you. It has had nothing to do with the virus. A lot of us go through many traumatic situations 10 times worse than herpes. And with that being said, you were able to get to a point where you accepted that. And why is that? Because you got to a point to accept, okay, what did I do? And let's be honest. Let's go through this thing. How did you get herpes? I'm going to stop. This is homework. We about to do some homework. So it's going to be a lot of silence because I really want you guys to pull out notes. I need y'all to get a journal and or write some paper and go get it. So I'm going to give you some time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Hopefully you have your paper and your pencil. If you're watching the video and you just got literally stop and go back, and if you're just watching all the way through, I need you to truly take this serious and do the work pertaining to what I'm about to tell you. Because if you do not do the work, then you're going to wonder why you're not overcoming the stigma. You're going to wonder why you cannot accept herpes. Number one, I need you to write your story down. I need you to go into detail what happened, who he was, who she was, how y'all met, the sexual encounter, how you felt, what you felt prior, if you asked any serious questions, what you were feeling, how your body was, were you coming out of a relationship, were you coming into a relationship, was he raped, did he rape you, did she rape you, was it a domestic violence relationship and needed to take stuff from you and you just settled. Like, come on guys, I need you to tell your story. I need you to write it to the T. This is not a time to play yourself. This is not a time to act like it ain't nothing going on with you. Most of you guys don't even tell your stories because y'all don't want to deal with the reality of your story. You don't want to even tell yourself that you could have kept yourself out of it. A lot of us do not want to say that we could have prevented from getting herpes. Number one, because they're going to make you responsible. And you're sitting here like, well, it ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. Guys, it's still many things that you could have prevented if you listened to yourself. If you truly was aware of who you was, you can prevent things. And I think that's something we keep saying that I can't prevent, but you can prevent things from happening if you stay aware of who you are. And I am coming to learn many individuals who contract herpes, including myself. We are not aware of who we are. We are not aware of our voice. We allow people to do whatever they want to do. We don't have no boundaries for real. We lack self-esteem. We dealt with trauma prior to this. We dealt with mental issues prior to this. We dealt with mommy and daddy issues prior to this. We dealt with molestation, rape, has been put into sex trafficking. So many different things. A lot of trauma. Let's put it like this. Most people that I'm meeting now, like literally I'm realizing, looking at a pattern, most of the individuals were not in a good place prior to herpes. They were not making the best decisions for their lives, even if they had never had sex before. Okay? They were not in a place where they were setting real boundaries and keeping people from taking advantage of them. Okay? That's a hard pill to swallow, but I had to swallow it myself. And I'm telling you this because you have to get to a place where you're going to tell yourself the truth. Nobody's in the room. You can't judge yourself, and that's what a lot of y'all doing. Y'all are putting yourself on a pedestal and nitpicking. But my whole thing, why nitpick at yourself? The only thing you can say is, you know what, I made that decision. And in the midst of making that decision, you need to ask yourself why. So after telling yourself this story, now let's go into what caused you to even make the decision to move forward when you felt like it wasn't right. Okay? Because the story adds up over time. And I need y'all to break it. It's very important that you break your story down and you tell your story, because when you start reading your story back, you're going to start seeing that you're telling yourself that you knew it was something going on, or you're going to tell yourself that you knew. I'm sorry. Tell yourself that you knew he was cheating on you. You're going to tell yourself you knew that he had gave you STDs prior. You're going to say that you knew that, he had a cheating problem, or he had a sex addiction, or you knew that they just had a problem. You just knew. You knew. And when you knew, you didn't do nothing about it. And this is where that blame comes in. So I'm about to identify why you blame. So you told your story. You started to accept that you didn't do something you could have probably stopped. and you didn't do it because you didn't have the self-esteem, you didn't have the confidence, you didn't have the support, or you just simply didn't have the you were never taught how to properly do things, okay? And that's another thing. A lot of people are not properly taught how to do things. I want us to stop believing that we're coming out the womb knowing how to protect our whole life. I'm sorry. Infants do not protect themselves coming out the womb. It is the mom and dad and the rest of the village job to protect that child at all costs, because that child is completely vulnerable. And honestly, as adults, we're very vulnerable when we're not learning. Like literally, when you're not completely learning what you need to learn pertaining to the decisions that you're making, the activities that you're being involved in, the decisions that you made, the tasks that you're involved with, any of that. If you're not educating yourself prior to making a decision or engaging into those things, then you're going in not knowing. And when you go in not knowing, the chances you make a mistake is very high. And that's what's happening to us. We're having things, which is your story. You have this long story of things that's happening. And then you go into telling yourself, okay, where was I? What was my life? What I was thinking? How I was feeling? You know, what was really going on in my world? And then when you go from what's going on in your world, you need to go into, okay, did I know better or not? Okay? You need to go into, did I know better or not? Because many of us truly cannot accept that you did not know better. You know why you can't accept that? Because you've been told from the media, you've been told from your mama, you've been told from your brother, your daddy, your pastor, and everybody else that you should know better. How are you going to know better if you don't know? That is the biggest contradiction in the world. It's from the pit of hell. I'm not even going to lie. How can you know something and you was never taught? I'm sorry. Knowledge just don't fall from the sky. Like, it has to be taught. It has to be told to you. You have to hear it, learn it, see it. Literally. That stuff is just not imaginary, and it's just poof, and you're just brilliant, and you know every situation, how to make a good decision. If that's the case, then everybody's life would be perfect. And that's not the case. So that means everybody have to learn to protect themselves and to prevent certain things to happen. And when you don't know, you tend to always make bad decisions in it. Now, you may look up and you make a good decision. But if you make a good decision, number one, you knew enough about it to make a good decision. You heard some stories, you heard some testimonies, or you simply listen to yourself. You listen to that inner voice tell you, that don't feel right, and you didn't do it. Now, if you didn't understand why you didn't do it, then that's still a problem in itself, because you need to know why you tell yourself no. You need to know why you tell yourself, You need to tell yourself, you're like, ooh, I know for a fact this is a good person. And you need to tell yourself, you need to examine yourself so much that you know yourself more than anybody else know you. Most of us do not know ourselves at all. You don't know why you feel what you feel. I have many clients come to me and they say, I don't know why I feel what I feel. Okay, that's a problem. Because now you're telling me you're depressed and you want to kill yourself, but you don't even know why. I'm sorry. If I am in a place of sadness, I need to be aware of why I'm sad. But sadly, most people have no clue why they're sad, and that's why they stay sad long time. You stay sad for a long time because you are not aware of why you are there. This video is not about herpes, y'all. This is about you being aware of yourself. You being okay with saying to yourself that I made a mistake. It's okay to say that I did not know any better. And it's okay to say, you know what? That's a natural consequence. That this world we live in has consequences for every action. I don't care if you know it or not. And we need to accept that people who know stuff and people who don't know stuff go through the same stuff. Okay? For the person who got money and for the person who don't have money, they are faced with the same things. But the only difference is the person who have money typically have had a family who have took the time to educate themselves and want to share that knowledge with their child. Number two, that person don't know anything at all, has been broke majority of their lives and don't want to ever be broke again. So they took the initiative to educate themselves and follow people who are doing it. Or the last one, they just end up being around really, really good people, didn't know it or did know a little bit. and then was blessed enough to get around people who had way more knowledge, and they were able to get that influence and get that training and get that education from those people. So my whole thing, you got to determine what person you are. Typically, a lot of us are the broke person. And the broke people, and I'm going to use this analogy because we hear broke all the time. Broke people stay broke because broke people don't do no work. That just sounds mean, but it's the truth. Like, you stay at a certain state of mind because you're not doing the work to change. And I understand, I have been in a family where struggle was normal. Even in my own life, struggle was normal because I wasn't doing the work. And now that I'm doing the work and I'm doing things, going to the store and buying stuff, fine. If I want to do something, fine, because I'm putting myself in a situation where I can do what I need to do, and I'm trusting myself that if I said money come to me now, that I'm going to, literally me saying money come to me now, and money come to me now, and money come to me now, that it's going to drive me to do some type of activity to get the change. So if you want to see yourself accept herpes, you're going to have to say, I want to accept herpes. I'm going to accept herpes. I will accept herpes. I have already accepted herpes. And those words, as you say them, they're going to grab onto activities. Those activities is going out here and learn everything you can learn about herpes. It's going to go behind watching my videos and watching other people's videos. There's so many of us out here and popping up out the sky who are educating, even people who don't have the virus, who are educating. You went to your doctor and did a follow-up and sat under your doctor. You went to infectious disease and got more information. You did that part. Okay? Then after that, you say, you know what? Let me get my emotions under control. Let me get my mental state under control. So you may did a life coaching session with me, or you may went to get counseling because you realized there was other things going on in your life. And then after that, you say, you know what? I need to constantly remind myself that I don't have to stay there. So then now you're reminding yourself to make better choices each and every day. You're checking your choices. You're making sure your choices make sense. You're making sure you take your time and make your choices, and you're not rushing to choices, not being sure of who is making sure it's the best thing for you. A lot of us stay where we are because we're not doing anything to change it. And you don't have to stay there. Everything's a choice. Just like I said, I use an analogy. If you ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I have. I've been exposed to that book since I was 13 years old. I did not get it at first because your perspective is wrong. Most people who are somewhere and see another person somewhere, it's some envy there. It's some jealousy there. It's some, I don't understand how you got there. And when somebody tell you how they got there, you kind of get snooty and you get in your feelings because at the end of the day, that person revealed to you some things about yourself you don't like, you've been in denial about, and you've been telling everybody that's not who you are. And then truthfully, that is who you are, but you don't want to deal with it and you don't want to be honest. I don't know what's wrong with us with not want to be honest with ourselves. It's from the pit of hell. And you not being honest with yourself is not going to get you no correction. You not being honest with yourself will not get you any correction. And let me use your example. So all of us have parents, even if your parents are here or not. You know, I'm sorry if you lost a parent. But everybody had a parent, a guardian of any nature, of some sort, okay? And as you grew up, they will tell you different things to do. And when you didn't do it, you got consequences for it. And sometimes they'll do this. Y'all probably heard me or seen me in videos with my kids where I tell them, okay, I'm on doing something. And you're really nice. Like, oh, sweetie, you know, mommy's busy. And then you'll say, okay, I hear you, sweetie. Give me a couple of minutes. And they keep going. And then after a while, you was like, okay, give me a moment. I told you no. You're going to have to wait. And they keep going. You say, look. Go get in the corner because since you don't want to listen to me and you don't want to take heed that you not listening, now you're going to get punished for not listening. This is our problem now. People are telling you your truth. Everybody is pointing you out and telling you, you, and more you. And you keep saying, no, them and that and this and herpes. Herpes is the problem. Herpes is not the problem. You are the problem. You need to take the time and check yourself and get yourself together. And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you need assistance with your checking. That's what counselors do. They check people. Life coaches, what they do, they are somebody who assists you in your ultimate goal. If your ultimate goal is to overcome herpes, I'm not going to coddle you. I'm not going to baby you. I'm not going to sit there and let you sit in your mess. I'm not going to sit there and act like I don't see what I see. I have called people out, and I know they were mad because I called them out on their crap. And I'm going to tell, I say, it's your fault. You did that. I can hear it plain as day that you love him so much and you won't leave, and you know he ain't gonna change, and you sitting here hoping and wishing he gonna change. He ain't gonna change. And you know why? Because you ain't setting no boundaries. You know why? Because he know he can do whatever he want to you, and you ain't gonna do nothing about it. Who wouldn't? People treat people the way you people treat you the way you allow them to. If you allow somebody to do you any type of way, how do you expect them not to do you any type of way? You accepted it. And then you want to get mad because you accepted it. How can you get mad? You made that decision to not open your mouth and say, I did not like that, or I didn't appreciate that, or you didn't take no initiatives to get it handled and get it reconciled correctly. And when that person didn't accept it, you didn't walk away and let them know, one thing about me, you ain't going to do that to me, and I'm going to walk away. But you didn't do that. You thought, okay, I'm going to give them a soft warning. If I don't like that, I don't like that is not telling the person you got a problem. What you are going to have to do is open your mouth and say, hey, I love you. This is not to pick on you, but what you did made me feel blah, 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 blah. I did not appreciate it. I'll appreciate it if you do da, 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 da. You got to teach a person. So this is why a lot of us are here, because number one, we are not being honest. Number two, and we were never taught to be honest with ourselves, and we were never taught how to be honest with others. That is every good characteristic in life is taught. Character is taught, guys. Character is taught. Your behaviors are taught. Your mindset is taught to you. Everything about the brain is taught. Even if you don't think you're learning, your brain is learning. We know we got the conscious mind, and then you got the subconscious mind. And I put the subconscious here because at the end of the day, it's the inner. It's the one that knows what's going on around you, even when you don't know what's going on. It's the one that rises up and lets you know that you're scared. It's the one that rises up and lets you know that you're happy. It's the one that rises up and lets you know, you're real close to where just keep going. Or it's the one that rises up and saying, your thoughts are telling you that you feel bad, but I'm trying to tell you it's okay and keep it going. But y'all are so in y'all heads and y'all in y'all conscious. Get out of your conscious mind. I mean, your conscious is so temporary. It picks up the temporary things. Your conscious mind picks up temporary things. Things that they hear, the opinions of other people. That's why the stigma of herpes is heavy, because it's in the subconscious mind. It's not in a place of subconscious. Because if it was, then you will truthfully know that crap makes sense. That how can you allow me that everybody who promiscuous have herpes? That's not true. It's not true, guys. And I had somebody post on my video talking, if you wasn't promiscuous, then you wouldn't have herpes. That's not true. My whole thing is, the world has been telling us, literally, even the commercials, even your doctors has been telling you, if you're promiscuous, your chances of getting an STD is higher. So that's been programmed in my mind. If I have more sex partners, I'm going to get an STD. That's your subconscious. It's been programming that, and now it's getting down into your subconscious, and now you're fighting with it because your subconscious is now starting to believe, because you don't say it so much over and over. Like, girl, she out there having sex with everybody. She going to end up getting some. Girl, she better slow down. She going to end up getting some. Oh, man, you better mess around, man. You better not mess with that girl. She mess with a whole lot of folks. She gonna get some. Boy, that boy a dog. Girl, you crazy. You gonna get some. You've been saying that for so long that you think if you mess with a lot of people, you're gonna get something. I'm sorry. That is a lie. That is absolutely a lie. Yes, it's a higher risk, because the more people you come in contact puts you at a higher risk that a person can have an STD. But you don't have to have sex with a lot of people to get an STD. See, that was never cleared. That was never stated either. But if you don't take the time to listen to it and think about it, then you're going to miss it. But if you just taking it for what it is, you're going to miss that it's a statement. It's really not a full fact. Okay? That's not a full fact. That's just a statement that's made based off research. And y'all got to understand how research works. Research is off a small group of people based off a certain demographic, based off a certain age, based off a certain income bracket, and an area of living. Okay, so my whole thing is our statements that are being stated mostly are from research. Some stuff is not facts. Now, when you know it's facts, it's like 98%, which is still even research. But let's, for example, a fact is if herpes is contracted by a skin-to-skin contact. That's a fact. That's a fact. An absolute fact. It's not a fact that if you have sex with a lot of people, you will get herpes. That's not a fact. That's not. Because at the end of the day, I can have sex with a lot of people and I didn't get any STDs until now. Literally. I was one of those. I had sex with a lot of people and I never had an STD until, I don't know, a whole lot of guys later. Okay? So, y'all telling me I should have got an STD because I was having sex with a lot of people? We got to get that out of our head too. If a person chooses to lay down with all these people, why do we feel like we need to punish them for what decision that they made for themselves? STD is not a punishment. It's not that's what you get. No, it's not. We got to stop doing it's not a punishment. It's just natural. If you come in contact with sick people, you get sick. I mean, that's it. Right now, we're in the winter. Your chances of getting sick are higher because you're coming in contact with more people. And the more people you come in contact, you're going to probably finally come in contact with somebody who got the cold or got a flu or got an infection or anything of that nature. And you end up possibly picking it up. And that's no guarantee either. And that's why y'all got to be careful with words. I ain't gonna lie. This is something I've been doing. You need to start looking words up. We say a lot of words and have no clue what the meaning. Stop doing it. Like literally, we got to stop doing that. You got to start learning what the words mean and why you're saying things. A lot of words have negative energy to it. And you don't even realize it has negative energy. Like I can't, a but, I can't, never, I won't. All of that. They're negative. I am, yeah, I will, I have, are positive. And that's when you hear people say, I do I am affirmations. And I do them too. Like, look at mine. Okay. These are mine right here. I do them as well. And this is my main one. Money comes to me now. And my other ones, as y'all can see, these are just goals that I have, and I took it off by accident. So these are things that I write. And my wording on these are for a reason. Because when I say this to myself, I'm putting into action. That positive word is forcing me to go into action. Negative words, won't, can't, all of that stop you. And y'all don't understand that. That's why I always say, watch what y'all say. I can't. And when you tell me you can't, I say, you right. You absolutely right, because you ain't going to do a goddamn thing telling me you can't do it. Or I'll never will. Or oh, that ain't never going to happen. You right, it ain't never going to happen. But don't be looking at me when it happened for me. Because at the end of the day, I didn't say it'll never happen. I said it will happen for me. And I kept saying it until I seen it and I did the work to do it. But you keep saying negative things and you're getting nothing. That's it. That's it. So with that being said, guys, I love you. You know where to find me. Simple questions, overcomingrthestigma@gmail.com. If you need to do a session 20 to 60 minutes, it's going to start at $25 and go up to $45. /I have it. Birmingham, I'm there this weekend. 12 o'clock. Melt Restaurant. 12 o'clock. Come meet me. We're going to have lunch. We're going to have a good time. All right? If you don't know anything about the Overcoming Gathering Tour, we're starting in Atlanta February 22nd to 23rd. Your tickets for a general ticket that automatically get a session, a one-on-one session, and a ticket is $120. Great opportunity. You do have the opportunity to separate those up. If you want to just do a session, it's $80. If you just want to do the event, it's $65. I'm having a guest. I'm speaking. We're going to learn how to disclose at this event. This is your opportunity to learn how to disclose properly. It's going to be fun. We're going to have some food, and we're going to fellowship and have a good time. Make sure you get your ticket. You're here in Atlanta. I will be traveling up the southeast area. We're just starting at Atlanta. If you want to know if I'm coming to your city, just ask it. I'll put it below and we'll talk about it. But I'll also post where I'm going next. So I love y'all. See y'all soon. Bye.